Well, howdy, loved ones. It is O'Clobberized. Today, we are doing a little pre-trial live stream about the whole situation with Repzion versus that
Just the kid that
just a kid that rants. That's his name. Sort of a very David and Goliath type of thing. You got Repzion, who has hundreds of thousands of subscribers, and just a kid that rants with, I'm sure he doesn't have very many, but so today I got with me the man behind the video. It is your boy, Wes Moast. What's going on, Wes?
Wow, you could not have said that any worse. I'm good. How are you? How are you?
I didn't say Wes Moist, at least.
You did not. You did not. No, only one person says that, and I think she says it on purpose.
Yeah, I think so too. And then I also got with us our resident legal expert, Mr. Shin's Koala.
Hey,
I'm
just following.
there's my guy Shin.
Perfect. Phone's cutting out and everything. This is going to be great. You're doing great. You're doing great, Shin.
Shit. Okay.
So really, we're just here to kind of hype this. We don't want to give too much away. We just give maybe a little bit of background on exactly who these people are, because if you're like me and a lot of the people who are subscribed to my channel, they probably don't even know who. I sure as hell didn't know who that kid who rants was, and I did. I know who Repzion is, but I don't really know too much about whatever's going on between them. So before we get to that, Wes, can you tell us about this new series that you're doing? It's the Drama Court.
Well, yeah, and that's just a tentative title for it. But the lawyer that I interviewed once in January, then had to work with just a few weeks ago on the Muse case, she, even back when we first met, she expressed an interest in wanting to do something on YouTube, but she wasn't really sure what. She knew she wanted to do something with the law and something kind of fun and different. And just kind of sitting back and watching the way a lot of things are handled on YouTube and a lot of the feuding going on back and forth, came up with the idea to do a court format type show where, people will always say, well, I would sue you if I was in the same state, or you're breaking the law if the jurisdictions weren't, people always make excuses. Well, now people will be able to actually have their case heard in front of a judge who is the lawyer, and there will be a legally binding type contract done at the end. But people will be able to settle their disputes without resorting to just the shit posting and doxing people and multiple groups getting behind them. It'll be really cut and dry. So I'm pretty excited to start working on that in the next couple of weeks here.
Okay, and Shin, you're not too aware of who these people are, like the kid that rants and Repzion.
No, just what Wes tells me, and quite frankly, Wes, I finally understand the video now.
That's perfect.
You explained it before, but you explained it perfectly right there. No, I think the only time I came across the Repzion name that sounded familiar was the involvement with an Ison guy and Chris Hansen or something.
Sure.
Court. That's about it. I didn't really know much about him. I had asked Wes.
Shin, can you say that? Can you say that name again? Was that Onision?
No, that's right. Nice.
Can you say it? I just want to hear it again. Can you say that one more time?
Oh shit! No, I'm not gonna do that. No.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah,
perfect. So I mean,
you guys a few times.
It's kind of the same case with me. I mean, I know of Repzion from interviewing him when I was at the courthouse in January. I'm not a drama channel. I wasn't familiar with Onision or Onision, so I'm gonna write that one down. It sounds like he might be a more devious version of Onision, so I'm gonna write that one down to pop.
He's one of Onision's alts.
Or is that he's the nice one? So
Yeah,
there's
he's
Onision, and there's
Sounds like a
Onision.
gladiator.
So Onision's the one who goes out and gives things to charity and donates a lot of his time. But yeah, I'll look into those. But so I knew who Repzion was only from that. I from what I was told, he was a really nice guy, and that was it. And Just the Kid That Rants, he has, I believe it's a little under 900 subscribers or seven. It's somewhere in there, and he's been on YouTube for a couple years. And he's a kid that rants. He rants about a lot of different things. He rants about Lego and Netflix and different people and communities. Some of his stuff is pretty funny. He's a creative kid.
Mm-hmm.
He puts together some good work. Some of his rants are funny. And but the first I heard of this whole thing was a couple of weeks ago when I was preparing for court. And I had a lot of people contacting me wanting to know if I could help this kid. And I mean, some people are contacting me almost in a panic.
Right. I mean, from what I've been able to see, and again, none of us are experts in this, but this is a very divisive situation. There are people who feel strongly and on both sides of this. People really going after each other on Twitter.
Yeah, and that was one of those things I wasn't aware of. Now, one part of this was I think a lot of people weren't aware is that this actually goes back to November is when this first started, and it was really kept under wraps and swept under the rug. The Just a Kid That Rants had a video in February that talked about it, but it really didn't get traction. And from what I understand, I've been told from multiple people is that someone started kind of tweeting at everyone to share this David versus Goliath type story. Mm-hmm. And that's when it started getting traction. And that's when the other drama channels picked up. And there have been, people losing subscribers over sharing their opinions, and people are getting doxxed. People are getting threatened. It's really kind of insane.
Yeah. And I'm sorry. Go ahead, Sean.
The way you explain the situation to me, I don't understand what the opinions are, to tell you the truth. What are they? Some people are supportive of him, some people aren't.
Yeah, and what you have is you're going to have a lot of people who are looking at, so you'll have people who are fans of Repzion. And because they're a fan of Repzion, they don't want to hear anything bad about him. And anything you say, they're not going to believe. And then you have people who feel the same way about Just a Kid That Rants. And then you have people who hear the accusations that were made, and then once they hear that, they don't hear anything else because you believe all victims, right? So it's all different camps. You have people who don't want to hear evidence. You have people who have seen the evidence and don't believe it's evidence. There was questions about what was initially shared, like where did it go? Because I was in trying to collect the evidence in talking to. I mean, I probably spent, I don't even know, 45 minutes to an hour going back and forth with Repzion asking questions, and when trying to gather evidence from both sides, screenshots, receipts, I had a really hard time getting them from one particular side of this argument, and that made it really difficult to, early on. That's why the legal review was delayed, was not, me just being late as per usual, but I wanted to make sure that I had the story from both sides. And I didn't just talk to Repzion and Just a Kid That Rants. I also talked to some people who were within their circles because I wanted to make sure that the stories were matching up. And also some people had different parts of the story, or they had different receipts.
So all the facts you gave me were pretty well-rounded.
Well, yeah, that by that point, when we had the discussion and I shared everything with you, I had collected everything. I collected all sides of it. The cease and desist from the attorney, the information about the police contact, and I had these things verified on both sides. That way, you weren't having someone saying, "Well, we sent this cease and desist," and the other party said, "I never received one." But those things were verified by both parties.
So, to be clear and to emphasize this, you don't have any kind of like friendship or prior relationship with either of these parties. This is you went into this video completely objective. You're not part of the anti.
No,
I'm sorry. Say that again, Shin. Well, you went into this with, you're not part of the drama community, and that's kind of a misconception that people have about you, Wes. That actually
I know.
bothers me is like this Muse stuff. That wasn't drama. That was, that was more. That had more to do with the To Catch a Predator community than the drama community, because if there's anybody who's a predator, it's Muse. So
everything on my channel basically had a start in the To Catch a Predator community, because the Vince JAKTR stuff was all because I tried helping him when him and Chris Hansen were we're back with Have a Seat with Chris Hansen, or no, Hansen versus Predators. So I was trying to help Vince with getting that launched, and then that didn't work out. So he decided to dox me, and everyone has seen his mental breakdown. But
Yes.
that was how that started. And then on that New Year's Eve live stream where he was going completely nuts, that was when Muse actually got introduced to it. So no, I've never been and I make it clear in my video, the one person who got involved in this whole thing, who I do have what I would say personal connection with, would be Drama and Opinions. And the reason for that is, she was the first Patreon I joined was Drama and Opinions. And the reason for that was, when I was a small YouTuber with 140 subscribers on New Year's Eve, and Vince is doxing me, and at that time, Vince was, there had been some cracks in his armor, but a lot of people saw Vince as this golden boy because he was working with Chris Hansen, and they were doing this and that, and no one wanted to speak out against him because everyone was afraid to disrupt this investigation. So when Baked Salmon and I came out with that video on New Year's Eve talking about websites that Vince didn't build, to us it was just another video we were making. We didn't expect it to have this, to blow up like it did, for Vince to dox me several times, for him to take down Baked Salmon's channel. The whole thing just kind of ballooned.
It's how he doxed you that's really disgusting. The fact that he used financial information.
Yeah.
He did a lot of horrible shit to Wes.
Yeah.
Well, because I know people have this idea that I just get myself involved in these crazy situations because I have the Muse thing that happened. I have the ex that was stalking me from October to March, and then I had the Vince thing. But the Vince thing and the Muse thing, those were just situations of me trying to help someone. I was sincerely trying to help Vince out, and now they think I'm the Gilgo Beach murderer.
Well, good news. Our boy Vince is in the chat.
Hey, buddy, where are you?
Yeah.
Hang on. Let me get you.
He's probably using the Wi-Fi from the Starbucks in the alley.
What's going on, Vince? Have you doxed me lately? Because I'm noticing a lot of that going on, and it's pretty similar to your style.
Yeah. So, anyway, so you don't have a dog in this fight with Repzion.
No, like I said, just Drama and Opinions, because she listened to me because she made a video with Vince, and he had said some things that I was upset because I didn't get a job, and that's why I had made the video that I was part of some group that was trying to extort Chris Hansen. Which, come on, I have more money than Chris Hansen.
Yeah, don't we all?
So that whole thing, and I had a long Skype chat with her, and it was probably like an hour and a half, and I shared all of my receipts with her, and she told me that she would correct it in another video. And at that point, I told Yap, I said, hey, so I'm done with YouTube. And she said, really? I said, yeah, well, I was going to make a video explaining my side, but Drama and Opinions has way more subscribers than me, and she's going to make a video, so I don't need to do anything. Okay. And Yap said, no, you should at least still tell your side. Like, just tell your side. So I made that receipts video, which, like, to date is my highest viewed video. Yeah. And so, that advice from it was the only good advice Yap's probably ever given anyone ever.
Right.
So she should probably remember that. But in this whole thing, the only one that I had any kind of, personal connection to where someone could point out When I make a video and I have receipts unedited, all of the receipts that I use in my video are edited so that they don't show names or this or that. But I send the unedited receipts to Drama and Opinions because I trust her to hold on to those. But I want third party verification.
Sure.
So yeah,
So Drama and Opinion is involved in this. She came out on the side. It's seemingly
with just the kid that
right,
and
right.
that is when I got involved was when the reaction video started coming out. I still wasn't really paying attention, but when the one that came out about Drama and Opinions came out, it just seemed like things were getting really, really toxic.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
And I kind of liken it to a police force because I've seen the drama community band together and do things, like cancel people who legitimately needed to be canceled. I wonder how much of the Austin Jones stuff that the drama community was responsible, because there had been whispers going on for a long time, but who was it that eventually really exposed him and, made people take action? So, I mean, I've seen the drama community do a lot of things, but when everyone stops what they're doing, when they're no longer talking about James Soroka and Onision, I believe,
yes,
Shin called him.
That's correct.
And other people like that, and they start cannibalizing each other, that would be like the police department deciding that they're not going to go fight crimes because they need to figure out who stole the yogurt from the refrigerator. Mm-hmm. And it's just, it seems counterproductive. And no, it's not my place to be, and I wouldn't have gotten involved, but I was asked to by someone who was close to one of the inner circles or one of the parties involved, wanted me to just kind of do one of my videos and do an analysis, but that's pointless. It's the same reason I haven't made James Soroka videos, or I never made videos about Onision or his dirty cousin Onision, because I don't want to just be another voice saying the same thing that everyone else is saying. So because of that, I decided that I would get a lawyer who has the worst phone service in America to give an actual legal opinion based off of all the facts. And that was it too. I just wanted to look at the facts in the legal case. I didn't care. All of the other stuff, the Discord stuff, who's racist, who isn't racist, none of that matters. Like, if that bothers you, then just don't subscribe. Don't watch their videos. But I think it's kind of funny when people are saying that this person should be deplatformed for this, or this person should be deplatformed for that. I mean, I really look at, when you talk about deplatforming, that is reserved for people like Austin, people who are actual predator and actually dangerous, to YouTube. Like Muse Talks, she's a dangerous person.
Absolutely. I mean,
regardless of her platform size, she's a dangerous person. She should not be on YouTube. But yeah, so anyway, you are correct. I don't have an actual dog in this fight. This was something that I was asked to get into, or I wouldn't have been in it, because a lot of it is based on people's opinions and their ideas about cam work and a lot of other things involved that to me does not matter. And if this was to go to court, none of those things would matter. You would just be looking at the facts of the case.
Yeah, this video, and I haven't seen this video, but it's all of the Discord drama and all of the, third-party accusations from people who aren't really involved in the situation. This video that you're about to premiere in about a half an hour, you just have facts and receipts, which something that you are pretty well known for.
Well, and I do give my opinion because I'm also known for that, and I get louder than I want to, which I'm also known for.
You have an informed opinion.
It is an informed opinion, and what I found is that my thoughts going into it were not how I came away at the end. Mm-hmm. So that was pretty interesting to me, and I don't know if it'll change the way other people look at it morally or how they feel, but it's really, really hard to argue with the law, and that was the important part to me. Everyone should, hopefully people are able to move on and move forward. Like this just a kid that rants, he can move on with making these rant videos. I mean, I watched a lot of his stuff, and his stuff has gotten better over the years. And, you'd like to see that, where someone's able to progress in their art. I wasted a lot of time making videos about, anger and in retaliation for things that were being done to me when I could have been making videos about, I have like 4 scripts written about true crime things that actually have nothing to do with me, but I haven't been able to work on any of them because it was just one thing after another.
Yeah, because people kept fucking you over.
People keep asking me to make videos about them without asking me officially.
Yeah. Begging you basically to make videos about them.
I think that's good. I like the idea because a lot of times you hear a lot of these conflicts going on and whatever happens, they're trying to influence public opinion one way or the other. But when they start talking about the legal issues involved, I'm going to sue you. I'm going to send you a cease and desist. Let's break that down then, and let's see what would happen. And I think that's what you're doing, right?
Exactly. That's it. Just stop with the everyone saying they're going to sue people, or everyone always feels like they have a legal case for some reason. Like, I don't know if it's the time we live in or what, but even the when that girl left my house, she told me that we would be going to court. And I mean, I really had how could she take me to court and for what?
But when it comes to those legal threats and things like that, it doesn't cost much to start a lawsuit. So, if you're going to threaten a lawsuit, why don't you just do it and let's see what happens? And typically, like we've said this so many times, when there's no merit in a case, you're not going to find a lawyer who's going to do it. So you're going to do it yourself. So, you just when people stick their chin out like that, just go ahead and take a swipe at it and say, go ahead, let's go to court and see what happens.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I would have said that to her, but she had told me if I contacted her again, she would call the police. And I had every reason in the world to believe that she would do that. When she was threatening me with court, though, I just laughed at all. Like, what could she possibly take me to court?
I was in general, not just about her case.
Are any of her fake alts reasonable? Like, is one of the pretend alts?
I think I know we don't want to mess with Mason because I think Mason is the badass, and there's one named Sam now, I guess.
Okay.
So I don't know anything about Sam, but I think the 4-year-old might be the one that I. Because the 4-year-old, while the spelling is a little off,
right?
To be fair, so was hers, and but the 4-year-old seemed to have kind of a happy-go-lucky type personality and philosophy on life that I could vibe with. So
and the 4-year-old knew you somehow.
The 4-year-old did know me. But that's a case for another video, I guess.
Yeah, and speaking of another video, Izzy asked a really good question. Will you be investigating the Gilgo Beach murders to A, rub it in Vince's face, and B, clear your name?
Well, here's the thing I actually caught the Gilgo Beach murderer and am flying him out to stay in a room.
You're trafficking him?
If things don't work out, I'm going to give him $500 to leave. I mean, because that's never bitten me in the ass before, so why would it now?
I hope you stocked up on pizza rolls.
I got lots of pizza rolls, the Tostino's ones and the generic, because I don't know what people like.
Yes, yeah, you can never tell. So, can you just? And I don't know if this is going to be giving the video away, but can you give us kind of just a basic rundown on what is going on? No,
absolutely, because I needed a rundown because I asked people, when people were contacting me about the whole thing, I said, great, is there one video I can watch that just kind of breaks down the whole situation? They'd send me 20 links. I don't have time for that.
Yeah.
Like, not only am I I was at the time trying to work on my own court case, but I had a video that I was trying to complete, and I have a job and a kid. So, like, sending me 20 videos to watch to summarize one thing, that is a waste of a lot of people's time.
Yeah, and from what I've seen, most of the videos, well, at least that I've seen, aren't very objective. They're slanted in one direction or the other.
Well, they're opinions. They're not facts that are going to help you, right?
Well, I mean, no, people do present facts, but
it's CNN versus Fox News. Where you could show Trump getting on a plane. It could be a 10-second clip, and CNN will say that he's doing it in the most disrespectful way possible, and Fox News will want to make a statue of Trump getting on the plane because it's the most heroic thing they've ever seen.
Sure.
And it's kind of the same thing with anything in the drama community. If Onision does something, then the people who hate Onision, they're going to hate it. And the people who love Onision, they're going to love it. And that's fine. But when you have people within the drama community who are battling each other like Marvel Civil War, what good is going to come from that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Are you going to invite them to forum to air out their dispute, like on People's Court kind of thing?
You mean the court thing that we were talking about like 10 minutes ago, or something else?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I meant. I thought we were all talking about that show, but
so
lost in the media world, all these names. I mean, obviously, but I like the idea.
So Wes, can you give us a rundown on exactly what is the issue between these two camps?
All right, so real quick, hold on, let me finish this real quick.
Okay.
So and this is how I understand it, and maybe someone in the chat could explain it better. But I've watched several videos about it. I had long talks with the people involved, and from my understanding, Just a Kid That Rants was a follower of Repzion for several years, 2 years, I don't know, several years, followed both on Discord and on YouTube. Mm-hmm. At some point within the last year, and I didn't even try and nail it down because it doesn't matter in the facts of the case, Repzion was no longer comfortable with Just a Kid That Rants. Now, these two live 20 or 30 miles from each other. Okay. Which is important because what Repzion, now it is confirmed they have seen like a movie together before. There was like some brief hanging out where maybe like, oh, you're going to be seeing this movie. I'm going to be at that theater too. We'll see the movie together. So there was in-person meetings between the two. At some point it got uncomfortable, and one party says that that Just a Kid That Rants was bullied out of the Discord. The other one said that he left voluntarily. Doesn't matter at all. But shortly thereafter, in November, Just a Kid That Rants started sharing, and it was a video, and it was shared on Twitter and in a Google Drive, and it was a video of Maya. It was a nude video and it was recorded in Skype. Mm-hmm. And when that got back to Maya and Repzion, they said, "Hey, this is underage. She's underage in this video." And the part that I had a hard time finding was anyone who could provide me the actual watermark timestamp from that original video.
Yeah, it doesn't seem anybody has that.
It doesn't seem like anyone has it. And when I talked to Just a Kid That Rants, he said that he thinks the first video that he used was a different video was put in the folder the second time. Now, when he was told that it was an underage video, it was taken down, and the police contacted Just a Kid That Rants, his parents, and let them know what was going on, and he was told not to do it again. Mm-hmm. And he released a couple of tweets where he apologized. He was really sorry for what he had done to Repzion and Maya because he had considered Repzion a close friend. So he was hurt, and now he felt like he had been misled by some people who had told him, to share this image and his whole reasoning, the reason why he said he was gathering these were for evidence. And I believe the evidence was to prove to Repzion that Maya had done some cam work in the past, some adult cam work in the past. So he wanted to prove that to him. Of course, the other side is saying that it was to shame her because he had been removed from the Discord. So, but again, that would not matter. Well, Shin, would that matter?
Well, no. I mean, do you want a spoiler alert? I mean,
no. I'm asking you if it would matter, if the intent would matter, if it was yeah.
If it's a minor.
Can you hear Shin?
No, I can't. You're cutting out, Shin.
Oh, I'm sorry. Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah, no.
Put on your hat with the antenna on it, because I'm having a real hard time.
Are you using Lauren's Bluetooth?
Yeah, I got to go on the roof.
I'm getting nothing from him.
Yeah.
Shin,
just to be clear,
in and out.
Maya is Repzion's girlfriend. Okay.
Yes. And so he made the apology, and then everything was, and it did not make a lot of waves when it was first released. When the picture and that story first came out, it wasn't a huge thing, and it was over until a couple months later. Somehow, Just a Kid That Rants was convinced that Maya was of age in the video, and he had been lied to, and so he came back. In February, on Valentine's Day, he released a video where he was talking about being lied to and manipulated by Repzion. And that was one video in February. And then I don't really know what kind of traction that picked up. And then in early May, and both sides told me different stories, but somehow it got picked up by various drama channels. And the narrative was instantly that Repzion and Maya had accused Just a Kid That Rants of distributing child movies, illegal child movies. And that's when people really started taking sides. You have some people who were so incensed with what Just a Kid That Rants did, and you have the other half who's really upset that Repzion and Maya would claim that this kid had child movies without being able to prove it. And so that's where a lot of the fighting is coming in. So where a lot of the fighting I see on Twitter is coming in, because people are arguing. Really, what they're arguing is the legality of what was done and who was in the right. And the fact that it's a 16-year-old. I mean, he will be 17 in a few weeks, but it doesn't matter. He's a minor.
Sure.
The fact that there's a minor involved with this with a small channel who's going up against this guy who, has so many subscribers that anything he says, his fans are going to go and possibly attack, this person. So people were looking at it like the David versus Goliath analogy, where you have this really big YouTuber who was using his weight and his power to crush the smaller guy. So you had some people who were willing to back Just a Kid That Rants even without seeing the information, just like people were willing to do the same for Repzion.
Right, and a lot of other very big channels kind of chimed in on this, and most were. Oh, I know. Was his name John Swan?
Yes.
Yeah. Who I actually am a fan. Like, I don't know his name, but I'm a fan of him. At least his coverage of the. Oh God, I'm blanking on her name. Susie Liu. Yeah. So yeah, I was for that of the whole of this whole group. He was the one person that I was familiar. I mean, I know who Repzion is. I know who Drama and Opinions is. But yeah, then a group of smaller YouTube channels kind of came to the defense of Just a Kid Who Rants, and
yeah, and that's where the division. I see, Mr. Righty saying just let the courts decide. That's kind of the point of this, Mr. Righty, is that you have some parties who neither of them want to go to court. Going to court is not an easy or fun thing to go through, and hiring lawyers and going through all that. If you're able to settle it without that, that's always going to be ideal. And even what would be recommended by the police when you contact them, the last thing anyone wants to do is drag this to court. That's not going to look good for either party. And for Maya, who is saying, who now her past working in this camp stuff, which was not tied to her before, has been, I'm pretty sure she wouldn't want this to drag through court either.
Yeah, no, of course not. So, yeah, so and basically, to reiterate the point of your video, what you're doing in this video is you are, it's basically court. You're getting an unbiased opinion from a legal expert.
Yes.
And
yeah, because I just wanted to look at the facts involved, and that's why. And the first thing I did is I contacted both Repzion and Just a Kid That Rants and let them know that I was going to be bringing in a third-party lawyer to review everything, and gave them a chance to present their side. If they didn't present their side, I was going to use whatever they had provided in their videos and have to dig through everything to find their case. But Repzion, like right out of the gate, we had a very long, conversation about everything, and he shared a lot of receipts, a lot of stuff that I either didn't or couldn't use in the video because it was too much too much personal information was on there. And then I spoke to people with Just a Kid That Rants, and he had actually contacted me on May 28th, and he thought I was a lawyer. So he contacted me, basically saying, "Hey, I heard you're a lawyer," and I didn't know he had contacted me. And so when I reached out to him,
wait, he thought he thought you were a lawyer?
Yeah, well, and that was what I was saying. A lot of people were contacting me on his behalf.
Okay.
And it was because they knew that I was using a lawyer for the case with Muse. So people were contacting me wanting to know if my lawyer would be able to represent him. If she was, and this is not the kind of work that she does. She did a favor for Chris Hansen in January because of another connection in New York who connected her. Basically, he was like, "Hey, I want to put you in touch with someone really good." Put him in touch with her. And when I contacted her, she didn't jump at the chance. Once she heard the details of the case, she was really upset, and that's why she took it. She was really, really pissed off about the whole situation. But she doesn't do YouTube stuff. And that's why she's like, a lot of this stuff, a lot of these people just need to, here's the deal, here's what the law would say, now move on. And that's where her whole idea for, drama court, that's not what the name will be, but that's where the whole idea came from, is just giving people a way to settle these things without having it drag on until the next person becomes news.
Mm-hmm.
Did he try to, can you guys hear me now?
Yeah, I hear you.
Oh, good. Okay. Did he try to get any other lawyers besides that one, or?
I don't know. And so I heard conflicting stories from people in his camp that his parents were contacting lawyers, and then I heard the parents weren't involved with what was going on. So I really don't know. I mean, I do know that a lawyer sent a pretty cut and dry cease and desist,
as opposed to the cease and desist that
the cease and desist that Muse sent me.
That was a little less cut and dry.
That should have been written on like a Taco Bell wrapper. No, this was an actual cease and desist sent from a real person, not several identities. And I mean, it lists the RCWs that were being violated. And so I don't know if a lawyer was contacted on Colton's behalf. Now, from Just a Kid That Rants, I do know that he said that he is suing. I saw in one of his videos, he said that he's suing. But I mean, if I had $1 for every person on YouTube who says they're suing, well, of course his parents would have to do it.
He doesn't have the capacity to bring anybody to court.
No, of course not.
Yeah. So,
but I mean, everyone says they're suing on YouTube daily. I hear it daily. So
sure.
Who knows if that's really the case? But that is
Lauren
what
is suing me.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Good luck with that. I'm sure he'll find a pro bono lawyer willing to take on clobbering time.
Yes. Yeah. Debbie B donated and says, YouTube drama makes me feel like my life is on track.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that was the reason why I watch Maury. It's not because I really want to know if so-and-so is the father. It's because when I'm watching this guy dancing because he just found out that he doesn't have a 9th baby by the time he's 26, I feel a lot better about where my life is going.
But again, this is a little bit more than YouTube drama. This is really affecting the life of Repzion and the kid.
And I see, Are You Kidding Me said, I'm too old for all this. I can't seem to keep up. I do understand. In the video, I break because I was not aware of the situation. So I provide a timeline from when this started until now in a pretty linear fashion. So it shouldn't be too difficult to follow. I mean, basically, it's a story of the last 6 months and some hurt feelings between two different parties and then what happened after the fact. But when we're really looking at it, it's about the legality, who's legally culpable in this situation where one side is saying that it is child movies and the other side is saying, no, it's not. They're perfectly legal. And their reason for posting them was to clear their own, to clear his own name. So that when you really look at it, this is not a drama situation. My situation with Muse was not a drama situation. I had someone in my house who tried getting me arrested for human trafficking and then tried having me charged with domestic violence. It just so happened that I am kind of known in the drama community because of the stuff that happened with Vince Nicotra.
Right.
But
Which,
that
again,
these were
wasn't drama.
No, these are just real life situations, and that's what, you know, in that video, that response video that Repzion made, it was I understand maybe his anger in it, because to him now he's become the drama situation.
Yeah, I'm sure you also appreciated his impression of you as well.
Oh, Onision's?
Yeah.
Yeah, those are two different people, Onision and Repzion. Are you?
Oh no. Okay, I'm sorry. I thought you said Onision.
No, Onision did a great impersonation of me. But you know, when he was standing in my face, he just stood there silently, like he was looking through me. Right. So he's a bitch.
Yeah, that we can all agree on.
But yeah, this is not a drama situation. I mean, these are real. Repzion had to hire a real lawyer. The police were actually called.
Yeah.
These, you know, those can be serious charges involved. So this isn't about drama. It just happens to involve someone in the drama, two people in the drama community.
Okay. Tia has donated and says, this is sort of a loaded question, but I can hear from the group why they think Onision issue is so important. Sexual assault allegations aside, I don't know that the Onision issue has anything to do with any of this. I mean, it just so happens that like most of the people involved are from the anti-Onision community.
Yeah, I think. Well, as far as I know, I don't know a whole lot about the anti-O community.
Me neither.
But I think that Repzion might have the largest channel of people who's.
Yeah, I think he was one of the first.
And he's one of the first who was on the scene. He's probably the most recognizable face and name when it comes to the anti-Os. Uh-huh. As far as commentary, I mean, you know, Shiloh as far as the alleged victims, but as far as commentary and stuff, it's going to be Repzion who's the most known for that.
Right. So
for him to go from being a person who's known from reporting on this guy with this, you know, sexual impropriety and these other things, to all of a sudden, I mean, because he's not just being accused. There were also accusations about maybe him being a groomer, and I've seen videos saying, you know, he's worse than Onision because allegedly, when his girlfriend was 12 and he was 17, she contacted him and he was like, "Come back in 5 years." No, or maybe he was 8. He was 18, maybe. I don't really know. Mm-hmm. He was young and she was 12 and he told her to come back in 5 years. And this is a story that she told. And she came back in 5 years.
Yeah.
And so because of that, he was grooming a 12-year-old is what some people are saying. And I mean, I don't see that at all. And that's what I mean, is that the waters get so clouded with what people wanted to tell me about Repzion's Discord, or when I would ask people for receipts of any doxing that happened recently, and they would show me stuff from 6 months ago that didn't involve these two parties. Mm-hmm. It's one of those things where you're not looking at the facts now. Maybe you're looking at why you don't like someone, and all of this is just backing up why you don't like that person.
So let me ask it just a general. How long is the video that you're about to premiere in the next?
It is 33 minutes.
So
I think
it's you deep dive it. It's.
Oh yeah, well, because I have to tell the story. You know, I have to make a video assuming that the person who's watching it is not aware of the situation going on,
sure.
Unless it's, you know, like part 5 of a Muse series.
Yeah, you would hope that. If people aren't just diving into part 5.
Part 5, yeah. I mean, it's like Police Academy 5. If you don't watch Police Academy 1 through 4,
no, you're going to be lost.
Completely lost.
Yeah.
Why is that guy making sound effects? Why are they at the Blue Oyster or whatever that
Exactly. You don't just jump into a Police Academy movie midway through.
No. You'd be
crucial plot points will be lost.
A fool's mission. But so with this, I had to tell the story. Kind of introduce, you know, real brief of who Repzion and Just a Kid That Rants are. Mm-hmm. You know, I try to have fun with it and do my style of video. But as with any video that's not my personal story, I always worry about, like when I did Brittany Simon's interview, I always worry about what I'm leaving out or what I'm getting wrong.
Yeah.
but or not what I'm getting wrong, because I had everything provided to me by the two parties, but what I leave out sometimes is just as bad to me as what I put in there that I wish I could change that, going back and looking at it later.
Yeah, of course. So, and I don't know if this will give anything away. If it does, you feel free to not answer. But it does seem that Repzion was very willing to talk to you. What about the other side? The kid that rants. How receptive was he to talking to you?
Well, I mean, he'd reached out to me 5 days prior to me reaching out to him.
Right.
When he thought I was a lawyer. So he was receptive. I would say everyone was pretty receptive in getting their story out there and providing me what I needed. I asked very basic questions to start. I wanted to know their version of things that happened, and I stressed that I was not interested in any of the drama stuff, because none of that stuff I didn't want to bog myself down in 20 videos hearing about what was it, Nazi boobs or Nazi tits, which I just, none of that matters. Yeah. Again, I want to stress this. If you don't like someone's personal beliefs or their views on something, it's very easy to just unsubscribe or not watch their stuff. But the last thing you should do is go and mass dislike anyone's videos, because in YouTube's eyes, a dislike or a like is exactly the same. So
yeah.
While it might hurt the ego to see 1,000 downvotes, in YouTube's eyes, that's getting boosted because there's a lot of activity on that video.
Why do you think Amberlynn Reed and Chris Chan thrive on YouTube?
Yeah, all the mass disliking doesn't do anything to anyone.
It actually helps. It actually
does.
Helps.
It helps a lot. And I mean, Onision was living off of that. When with I don't know how many views his videos are getting now, but I know there was a while there where his stuff was really blowing up, and all those dislikes, all that stuff helps. So you want to take your hate out on a YouTuber, the best way you can do it is by ignoring them.
Right. Don't leave comments. Don't thumbs down.
Don't do anything. Just ignore them. All that other stuff is just helping them out.
Debbie donated $1, and she says, "Thanks for deep diving, Wes. Looking forward to the video." And we'll be providing a link to the video in the chat. But it's on Wes's channel, and it's on my community tab. It premieres in about 7 minutes.
Yeah, we're about 7 minutes away. I think Irish Badass might have had a question. I don't really know though.
Let me see if I can find it. I did see another question from somebody else that Tiamat actually clarified and said, "I guess where I was going was, are social media platforms somewhat culpable in predatory behaviors at all?"
I'm sorry, I missed that. What was that?
Are social media platforms culpable in predatory behaviors? And I mean, in a lot of cases they are. We're not saying
that's like saying though, are schools culpable when they find out a teacher has been sexually improper with a student and they fire the teacher,
right?
Unless the social media network is aware of it and they're hiding it, like with the Austin Jones situation, there were people who had been talking about it, but there were tours that needed to be kept up, and they didn't want to sully the clean name of YouTube by having this sex scandal, so that was swept under the rug for a long time. So I think in some cases they are. But in others, anytime you have a community of look at Craigslist.
Yeah. They
had to get rid of several categories because of the amount of murders and robberies and things like that happen from the site. So anytime you have a place for the community to come together, you're going to have some issues with the community.
And to be clear, we're not accusing either party of any kind of predatory behavior or anything like that.
No.
Austin Jones used YouTube to find victims, people like that.
Yeah, and again, I look at the people who pretend they have sicknesses, and they use.
Wait, there's somebody who's pretending that there's somebody who pretends to have a sickness.
Well, I've heard a rumor. And those people who use YouTube
better be careful. Watch out for her.
Yeah, to garner sympathy and lie. I mean, I've seen countless GoFundMe scams where people pretend they have cancer or their kid has cancer, and it turns out they don't have a kid, so their kid definitely doesn't have cancer. And so, those are people who are dangerous people. But just because you don't agree with someone's opinion, regardless of which side it's on, wanting them to be removed. I mean, that's a slippery slope, because where does it stop?
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, I mean, we are 5 minutes away. I'm putting the link in the chat so everybody can enjoy that, because you're doing this as a premiere.
Well, Digital Goon, I see your question. Why not handle this privately? And I have to say, that was probably my least favorite question I ever got when dealing with anything. And I think it's kind of easy to look from the outside and say, well, why not handle this privately? When another party is handling something so publicly, regardless of how you respond to it, people are going to question it. With the Muse thing, when I came out talking about that, I had a lot of people ask me why I didn't handle it privately. And in my mind, I was trying to stop people from being taken advantage of by a predator. I also knew she was putting her story out there, maybe not as publicly as mine was, but I'd seen her GoFundMe. I didn't even know about the Discord and all the other things where she was calling me a sex trafficker. So sometimes for some people, they are either going to retreat or they are going to attack.
Yeah, well, look what happened to Brittany Simon.
Exactly. And there you have two cases. One where she wanted to handle it privately and didn't say anything, and it ended up running her off of YouTube.
Yeah.
I have 3,000 subscribers. She had 70,000 and was making a living off of it. She handled it a different way than I did. And so, I mean, there's hindsight's always 20/20, and everyone's going to question it. But it's like when the police say, it was real suspicious the way she handled her husband's death. But if you've never had, everyone handles things differently. And there's that fight or flight, and some people fly and some people want to stay and fight. So I never question, well, why would they want to handle it privately? Why would they want to handle it publicly? I think that's just for everyone in the situation. And until you're in a similar situation, it's really hard to judge the way that someone handles something like this.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh no, I understand Digital Goon, that it wasn't directed at me. I was just saying, I've never been in his personal situation, but if you had asked me 6 months ago what I would do if an 80-pound girl accused me of sex trafficking after she stayed at my house for 2 weeks, I probably would have had a different opinion than I do now.
I think you misinterpreted Digital Goon.
Yep.
Yep.
Think we lost Shin. I think we lost Shin again.
I think Shin ran out of quarters at the payphone.
How many minutes did you get on your card?
100. So that's it. I mean, I really don't have anything else. You guys support Allie the Alien's merch store.
Yes,
she's got some great stuff. Don't be a victim and miss out on these great deals and amazing designs.
Yeah, Allie, if you can, we're about to wrap up, but if you can put a link, I just modded you, so if you could put a link to your store in the chat. Otherwise, I'll put it in the description. We're just wrapping up. We got like a couple minutes till this premieres. So I think what I would urge people is to watch this video objectively. I don't know, maybe after watching Wes's video, your opinion on the situation may change, or it may say the same.
I urge the same. I made this from an objective viewpoint, not having a dog in this fight. I mean, as a small YouTuber, I of course would want to go into it, siding with the small YouTuber, but I didn't look at it that way. I looked at it from the legal standpoint, and that's why I involved Shin, who came in today with 2 tin cans and string instead of a phone. But it's still nice. It's still nice that Shin joined us.
Yes. I'm not on a phone. I'm on my computer. On my computer, and I everything. I'm so sorry.
You should upgrade the Commodore 64 to an Amiga. I hear it's a much better product.
That's the problem.
So Allie put her link there. You guys go support Allie the Alien.
Yeah,
she's got some awesome stuff. She'll have new stuff coming out.
Yes, if you want a I'm a Victim throw pillow.
Oh yeah, I mean, because you want something classy.
Yes.
To liven up your dull home. There's nothing better than a I'm a Victim throw pillow. Maybe there should probably even be towels. I don't know.
There should be. All right.
There should be
the video's about to start, so I want to thank Shin, as always, my man, for joining me. Wes, thank you so much for letting me do this. And the link to Wes's video is in the chat, so we will see you all there. You have
Thank you, everyone.
Anything further to say, Wes? Or you?
No, that's it for me. Thanks, everyone. We'll see you next time.
All right, enjoy Wes's video.